Have you ever wished there was a magic card that just said your opponents can't play magic anymore? Well, there sort of is. So today we're going to teach some Arena Zoomers about Iona Shield of Emeria. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and today we are teaching some Arena Zoomers about the most miserable and most ridiculous reanimation target of all time, Iona Shield of Emeria. And Iona, it might not be the best reanimation target ever, but if you sit down to a game of Magic, Iona might be the card that you want to see across the table from you the least, because it is absolutely miserable, and that's why I love it so much. If you don't know Iona, this card just came to Arena for the first time as part of an anthology. It's a 9-mana 7/7 angel. It has flying, and it says when it enters, you choose a color, and your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color. So what this means in practice is if you're playing a monocolor deck, and your opponent plays Iona against you, and they choose a color that you're playing, you just can't cast spells for the rest of the game, and it is pretty hard to win a game of Magic if you literally cannot cast any spells. If you're like a 5-color deck, maybe you're okay, but even if you're a 2-color deck or a 3-color deck, and Iona names the color that you have interaction in, or most of your deck is, it really just stops you from playing Magic altogether. So our goal today is pretty simple. We are trying to get Iona on the battlefield as fast as possible, as consistently as possible, and hope that our opponents just scoop because they literally can't play Magic anymore. So how are we getting Iona into play? Well, first, Iona's got a couple of backup friends, Sarah Emissary and Atraxa. As much as Iona's our main target of this deck, if we're going to be reanimating stuff, we need some redundancy to make sure we have something big in the graveyard to get back. Sarah Emissary, also pretty miserable. When it enters, you choose a card type, and we and our creatures get protection from the chosen card type. So if our opponent's a creature deck, we can reanimate this, put it on creature, and we can't take damage from creatures anymore. If they're a control deck and we're worried they're going to cast a Wrath, we can name sorcery, or a targeted removal spell, we can name instant. So Sarah Emissary, while not quite as broken as Iona as far as just not letting you play anything, it does a pretty good approximation of not letting your deck actually function. And then we have one Atraxa just to draw a bunch of cards, because drawing a bunch of cards is good. So those are reanimation targets. Then we need to get them in the graveyard. So for this, we have Faithless Looting to loot some cards, Fable the Mirror Breaker to loot some cards, Overlord of the Mailmark to mill some cards. So these cards hopefully get our Iona in the graveyard as quickly as possible. Faithless Looting can get it in the graveyard on turn 1, which is really key because our reanimation, our best reanimation effect, is Life and Death, which is 2 mana to reanimate a creature from our graveyard, and we lose life equal to its converted mana cost. So essentially, it's reanimate for 1 more mana, but it only hits our graveyard. But what this means is we can turn 1 Faithless Looting, discard the Iona, turn 2 Death, get Iona into play, and make our opponent not play Magic from the second turn of the game. We also have Unburial Rites, which is a little slower, but it's also powerful because of Flashback. It's 5 to cast, but 4 to flashback to reanimate something. So we can mill this to our Overlord of the Bailmark or discard it to Faithless Looting and then reanimate one of our big finishers. Otherwise, we get Fatal Push for removal, Thoughtseize to pick apart our opponent's hand, although actually, Thoughtseize is another way we can get Iona in the graveyard in turn 1. It looks so weird, but in the right game and with the right hand, it actually, I think, is correct to turn 1 Thoughtseize yourself, put Iona in the graveyard, so you can reanimate it on turn 2. Mana base, pretty straightforward stuff, a bunch of dual lands, Prismatic Vista, some basics, take Numa for more milling. Sideboard-wise, pretty straightforward. Duress for combo and control, Fragment Reality to get rid of graveyard hate, Temporary Lockdown for aggro, Ghost Vacuum for opponent's graveyard, Stamping Sphere for Eldrazi and like Storm-style combo decks, and that is our teaching Arena Zoomers about Iona deck. And that's our deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see just how quickly we can make our opponents not play Magic at all with Iona Shield of Emeria. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. It is time to teach some Arena Zoomers about what it's like to not be able to cast literally any of your cards. We were teaching Arena Zoomers about Iona, and this hand's actually hilarious because this is... We don't have Iona, we got our one of Atraxa, but this is a Thoughtseize ourselves hand. Thoughtseize, targeting us. Discard the Atraxa, and this sets up for some life death next turn to get an Atraxa, which should be pretty good. World Tree, eh? Well, we're gonna play a land, and death. Atraxa. Take 7. And, ooh, there, okay. Get on burial rites. Get a Blackleaf Cliffs. Fable of the Meow Breaker. Yeah, I mean, we gotta take Iona. That's what we came here to do. Your go, opponent. Can you beat? Someone thought seizing themselves. I think the answer is probably no. Oh, it's so funny. Cactar, okay. I don't think that gets through an Atraxa, plays the land. Opponent's fighting the good fight. If your follow-up to turn to Atraxa is a Cactar, it might just be worth scooping. Well, we will hit you for 7. Gain back the life we spent on the death. Man, we might be able to get Iona next turn as long as we hit a land. Wow. Hostile. And what is going on over here? I'm so confused. I am so confused. Opponent gonna loot. Are we reanimating? Why is there a Cactar? Why is there has to be some sort of combo. I don't know what the combo is. All right, opponent discards some pump spell. Yeah, seize opportunity. Well, all right, come on, land. And opponent does not even wait to see the Iona. I have no idea how to sideboard against this deck because I have no idea what it's doing. I guess Fragment Reality is a nice catch-all. It gets rid of Graveyard Hate, which is its main purpose. I guess we just bring in Fragment Reality and then just like trim an Overlord, trim an Burial Rites, trim a Fatal Push, run it like that. On to game number 2, we're going to be on the draw for this one. Twice in a row. Okay. Well, it's still not... It's still not Iona, but this is another turn 1 Thoughtseize ourselves to reanimate hand. Thoughtseize us again. Oops. What are we doing? We misclicked. Get that Sarah Emissary in the graveyard. I don't even know what to name. These cards are so much better when I know what our opponent's deck is doing, because what do we name with Sarah Emissary? We get protection from a card type, but what card type do we even choose, opponent? Tap land on white. Well, land, and how about some death? Sarah Emissary. You know what? We're gonna go instant, because I feel like instant's most likely to kill the Sarah Emissary. We do go to 9. So if our opponent, I don't know, can play some Cactars. Why was there a Cactar in this deck? Island. Plundering I have never been more confused. Plundering Barbarian makes a treasure. Well, I guess just in Pendant Overlord. We have another death if we can mill something. All right, bunch of lands. Well, hit ya. Down to 13. Maybe we should have just put it on creature. I mean, there is a world where opponent wins this race. The one downside of the life-death plan, just like actual reanimate, this is like historic reanimate because it's 1 more mana. The downside is you do lose a bunch of life. So it is possible that we do the thing and lose the race. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Our opponent has every color of mana except for, well, I guess the treasure, but discounting the treasure, everything except the mana that would let them play Cactar. Oh, prismatic, okay. Wait, oh, if they prismatic bridge into Cactar, oh, that would be the funniest thing. Opponent hits us. I mean, we can just answer it. We just have to not die for 1 more turn after this, essentially. And Sarah Emissary will win us the game. So prismatic bridge gives them a random creature. We should put on it. Well, I don't know. If we had chose creature, it might just get got. Well, let's get rid of the prismatic bridge. Opponent spins into a fearsome whelp. Okay. Well, hit ya. Down to 6. Fearsome. I don't know if I've ever been more confused about what a deck's trying to do. I am befuddled. Well, okay. Backside of Redain. So soaks up 1 damage to anything. Opponent hits us down to 5. Sure. Fearsome Whelp, doing its thing. Well, I mean, I guess we keep doing what we came here to do. Attack. Opponent can block with the Fearsome Whelp. Maybe that Fearsome Whelp was actually the savior for our opponent. Let's play the Fable, the Mirror Breaker. I mean, next turn we can loot away Sarah Emissary on Burial Rites and maybe reanimate it on creature. If we get one on creature and on instant, then there's no way, right? There's no way we're gonna die through that. Well, I mean, the power of thought seizing yourself. The little known mode on Thoughtseize. Target yourself. Twice in one match. About it. Bacon. Valky, God of Lies. Well, that's a good one to spin into with Prismatic Bridge. All right, so opponent can take the Sarah Emissary. So they need 2 more mana and they could get one of their own. That would be awkward. Opponent's getting in Yeah, I think we just chump. Like, the emissary's lethal. There's no reason, I don't know, if they had like a sorcery speed lightning bolt, we could die. I have no idea what to expect out of our opponent's deck. I literally have no idea. Well, discard Emeria, discard Atraxa, and opponent might not have learned much about Iona, but learned a lot about thought seizing yourself. And I still have no idea what their deck was doing. Interesting. Trying to teach some Arena Zoomers about Iona, Shield of Emeria. Perhaps the most brutal reanimation target ever made. Iona, I don't think it's the best reanimation target of all time, but it definitely is. Oh my god, it's a brutal card. This we can keep. One lander not gonna get it done when we can't cast the Faithless Looting. This, I mean, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Fable can discard the Atraxa. Well, let's play the Blood Crypt and Thoughtseize you. Ooh, elves. Oh, man. Oh, is this mono green? Oh, if we can find Iona. Oh, if we can find Iona, we end them. We end them. So we get to deal with two of these things. So I think we take Leaf Crown Visionary since it draws cards. We can Fatal Push the next creature our opponent... Well, okay. We can Fatal Push the next two creatures our opponent plays. Eventually, they'll get to Kaivar, but hopefully by that time, there is an Iona telling them they cannot play Magic. Opponent's going to play a Priestess Titania off the Cavern. Well, Fatal Push it. Yes, I know, opponent. We're drawing all of our removal. Ooh, there's a land. Okay. Well, play the land, crack the land. Snag us a Plains, and get down the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And pass turn. All right, opponent. What do we got? Nykthos. More Priestess Titanias. Oh, there's Iona. There's Iona. Come on, reanimation, reanimation, reanimation. Come on. Come on. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Well, get in and hit ya. I mean, we did find even more Fatal Pushes, which is still pretty bad for our opponent. We could mill in on Burial Rites. That'd be nice. No. I mean, I guess we get back the Atraxa. I guess there's some world where we just make so many treasures we cast it. That's not really the game plan, but it could happen. Opponent. Castle Garenbrig and Tyvarkal. All right, Planeswalker time. We need reanimation. We need reanimation. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Well, all right, flip the Fable. Go to combat. Hit the Tyvar. See if our opponent wants to do some chump blocking. And opponent, all right, says no. Well, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Maybe we actually really do end up hardcasting Atraxa. I was mostly joking, but that's actually seeming kind of practical now. Opponent, Lair of the Hydra. And Elvish Clan Call, right? Elf Lord action. So Tyvar makes elves, untaps and pumps elves. Lets all your elves tap for black mana. Actually, like a pretty good elf planeswalker. We'll just take it. Down to 13. We could block. I kind of want to save the treasure in case we'll see. We'll see. In case we end up hardcasting the Atraxa, although we might just end up discarding the Atraxa to the Fable. Because all we really want is to hit a reanimation spell. That's all we really want. Hit reanimation. Get that. Oh, the One Ring. Okay. Well, that is very scary if our opponent can still cast spells, which means we just need to draw an Unburial Rites or a Life Death. Something. Faithless, okay, Faithless Looting, that's more digging. Well, pitch the Atraxa, pitch the Faithless Looting. Come on, deck. There it is. Okay, Life Death, so we're gonna go to 4? Well, let's kill this Tyvar. Everything at Tyvar, opponent's got protection anyway. I think it's time for our opponent to no longer be able to cast spells. So, 1, 2, how about some death, opponent? How do we feel about a little death? We're gonna take Iona. We're gonna name green. All right, elves. How does your deck function when you cannot cast green spells? How many outs do you have? One ring. Gonna draw some green cards that are uncastable. What a shame. I don't know why I love making people not play Magic so much, but it's so good. Iona. An opponent. Wow. You know what? Respect to our opponent. A lot of respect for an opponent who gets Iona'd, cannot cast spells for the rest of the game. And still GG's. So shout out to our opponent for being a respectful Magic player. We'll bring in the temporary lockdowns. Go down on Burial Rites. Go down Overlord. Run it like that. Man, this hand's so expensive. I think we got a mulligan. All right. This hand has some mana issues, but we do have a Faithless Looting. Let's put a Sarah Emissary to the bottom. Because we're going to have to, well, oh, there's a Tormod script. All right, opponent came prepared with a Graveyard Hate, Forest, and I don't know where Elf. Yeah, what do we do with this Prismatic Vesta? Temporary Lockdown. I mean, I feel like we have to get red and looting here, but that means we can't Fatal Push, and we're nowhere near Temporary Lockdown. I'll grab a Mountain, do a little looting, see if we can hit some lands. Okay, we hit a land at least. So discard Sarah Emissary. Do we just discard the Life Death? Yeah, I mean, so there's two pathways. We can keep the Life Death, try to reanimate, make them sack the Tormod script, so then maybe we can reanimate in the future. But then we'd have to discard a Fatal Push or Temporary Lockdown. I feel like holding onto the removal, ooh, Eladrami. That is a good one. That is, ooh, there's the Iona too. That would have been nice if we could have discarded it. Tyvar is a good one because it gets around the Fatal Push. And it gets around the Temporary Lockdowns. It accidentally just gets around all of our interaction. That might be an issue, opponent. Reclamation Sage. Gonna blow up the Tormod script? No. I was hoping for the misclick value. Opponent gets in with the Eladrami. Down to 16. Come on, we need a land. We did come here to teach Arena Zoomers about Iona, but we might be teaching ourselves about playing 4 copies of a 9-mana card. And how when you draw them, oh god. Huh. I thought these Temporary Lockdowns were going to be lights out against our opponent's deck, but our opponent is built to beat Temporary Lockdown. Everything is 3 or 4 mana. Come on, land. Yeah, all right. We can't actually cast anything. Well, I think we were learning the lesson on that one. I guess we can bring in Fragment Reality. It can remove an elf, and it's a way that we can get rid of Graveyard Hate. Maybe we just cut the Overlords. Actually, maybe we go down the Thoughtseizes. They're kind of slow against elves. Thoughtseizes is nice for getting rid of Graveyard Hate, but against elves, it's possible they just dump their hand, and then it's kind of a dead draw. All right, we're on the play for game 3. Show us. Ooh. All right, we're going to keep it. We got Iona. We even have the Thoughtseize that we could Thoughtseize ourselves with, but I think we're actually going to spend our 1 remaining Thoughtseize on our opponent. 1 land, 1,000,000 elves, a 1 ring. Kind of feel like we attack the Elvish Mystics and just hope our opponent doesn't draw lands in the near future. If we take 1 Elvish Mystic, then they're obviously going to play the second one. Fatal Push it. That should buy us a bunch of time. Sarah Emissary. Well, Fatal Push the Elvish Mystic. This hand would love a Faithless Looting. Faithless Looting or a Fable the Mirror Breaker would be amazingly... Hey, okay. And now Life Death, please. Ooh, next turn. Iona, on burial rights. All right, it's coming for you, opponent. It's coming for you. You can see it all. It is happening next turn. Opponent, this better be the best. They did draw land number 2, so they can play Magic at least. For now. Not for long. All right, opponent. You get 1 spell for the rest of the game. It is an Elvish Archdruid. Well, I have bad news, friend. On burial rights, Iona. And I think we're going to choose green. All right, opponent. Can you win without casting the only color in your deck? If our opponent wins this, I will... I will give them my entire Magic collection. Send me your address, and opponent scoops it up. Well, turns out Iona pretty good against mono green elves. Not bad, not bad at all. Ooh, man, we're gonna try it. We gotta try it. I mean, we can Thoughtseize ourselves to get Iona in the graveyard, and then if we top deck a land, I mean, keeping a 1-lander is so risky. Of course, we know how this goes. But if we just draw land, we get. Yeah, oops. Oh no. I misclicked. I wonder if our opponent really thinks that was accidental. They oopsed us. Soul Warden. Oh, another Life Death. All right. Well, Thoughtseize you. See what we're up against. Oh, it's Angels. Okay. Well, this is actually pretty good. They're basically a mono white deck, splashing for Collected Company. We can take the Collected Company, and then we trust that we draw land and put Iona on white. And that should, opponent draws a Bishop of Wings, and that should be good enough. Opponent hits us to 13. All right, there's the land. Okay, well, the only card in our opponent's deck that they can cast, I believe, would be Collected Company, but we just Thoughtseize the Collected Company from our hand. So unless our opponent gets really lucky, well, we are at 4, so we still kind of need another follow-up. Because they will draw a Collected Company eventually. That Thoughtseize was big. If they had the Coco in hand, that would be brutal. All right, land is actually fine. Play it tapped. We can't attack, sadly. Oh, opponent. Land. You gotta be kidding. Collected Company. Heliod. Oh, man. That is unfortunate. Yeah, I think we're... I think we're getting a little wrecked here. Sarah Emissary, and yeah, that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate that they drew the second Coco. Opponent. Well, So opponents, Green White Angels, bringing the lockdowns, bringing some Fragment Realities, trim some Overlords. Overlord is kind of filler. I think Overlord's an easy first card to cut in this deck. We don't get a lot of value out of it. It does fill the graveyard, which does something, but we don't have a lot of creatures for it to get back. Run it like that. On to game number 2, we're going to be on the play against Jen Jelly, who absolutely wrecked us with their Coco top decking skills in game 1. Well, I mean, all right. We can keep this. We need a looting effect. We need a looting effect to be able to get a Sarah Emissary in the graveyard. MDFC and Soul Warden. Well, all right. We will fragment your reality. Fragment reality very good against 1-mana creatures. 1-mana permanents, really, because then our opponent does not get a replacement. We'll play the Prismatic Vesta. Ship the turn. Opponent, Plains, and Soul Warden number 2. Yeah. And Speaker of the Heavens. Well, yeah, I think we just kill the Soul Warden. We're not playing any green mana, so don't worry. We are not using life to turn all of our lands into 1/1s. Not worth the splash. I'll play the land past the turn. Although we could do it off a treasure token. It is possible. Youthful Valkyrie. Well, do we kill this? I guess we can wait. I do think we'll kill it to keep it from gaining life. Come on, Faithless Looting. Take Nume. Well, land, go. Would be nice if we drew some non-land Magic the Gathering cards. Heliod. That is a good one. Bound it. Hits us down to 18. Blackleaf Cliffs, go. Well, maybe we can just flood our way into hard casting Sarah Emissary. Pound it. Green, no Coco. All right, Righteous Valkyrie is still very good. Righteous Valkyrie gains some life, grows the angel, hits us. Down to 16. Blood Crypt. Man, we're flooding, but we haven't flooded into 3 white sources, so. All right, so if we draw another land, we want it to be an untapped white. I mean, if we draw an untapped white source, we can hardcast the Sarah Emissary named Creature, and I don't think they can beat it on Creature. It's probably even better than Iona in this matchup. But we gotta draw it this turn because we're about to die. And Reanimation does not work because we're at such a low life. Found a Heliod. Come on, deck. Untap white source. Untap white source. Show us that Godless Shrine. Show us that Sacred Foundry. Yes. Fable. Would have been so good in previous turns. Well, looks like we met our match. Time to teach some Arena Zoomers about not being able to cast any cards. We're teaching Arena Zoomers about, oh my god, that's turn 2 Iona. I cannot believe the number of times we've Thoughtseized ourselves with this deck. It is kind of insane how many times we have Thoughtseized ourselves. Well, yeah, land Thoughtseize, take our own Iona, get it in the graveyard, double life, death, and hand, bone it. Well, if they're mono black, Iona's just, it's game. Mono black is a deck. That is a deck that could be being played. If they're mono black, Iona on black is just literally the turn 2 kill. Bone it. Thoughtseize is a life death. It'd be nice if we could Thoughtseize and get some information, but I think we just got a death. Get the Iona, put it on black, pass the turn. Our opponent, oh no, they're Esper. Oh no. Well, Thoughtseize you. Iona on black might not do anything. Thalia. Ephemerate. Quantum Riddler. Witch Enchanter. Well, I think we gotta take the Riddler. It's very good. It's very, very good with the Thalia. Play the land untap down to 5. Overlord. Impend. Yeah, I don't think we want Iona back in hand. Yeah, so we want to name White. White is actually the color we want to name against this deck, now that we know what they're doing. In this case, Iona was actually too fast. It was too fast for us to have enough information to name well. Oh, opponent Thalia. Gonna blink our Iona. Thank you. Oh, well, okay. Now we can get an Iona on white. Oh, this is actually super close. This is actually super close. Opponent goes to 2. We're going to win this game at 1 life, I think. We'll hold on to the land, just as a bluff. Our opponent can't cast white spells pre-combat, so they can't go the Thalia. Opponent, combat, attacks, Iona, blinks it. Sure, we go to 1, but 1 is not dead. And then Iona's coming back? It's so funny they reset the Iona for us. And Iona, coming back. Gonna put it on white again, just in case they have, like, instant speed removal, and good enough. Good enough. The games actually end up being closer than you'd think. Like, that was a turn to Iona game, and we were at 1 life when we actually won. Just because we spend so much life on the life death that our opponent almost managed to race us with Thalia. I guess it was good for our opponent that they were on the play, or else they wouldn't have even gotten the Thalia. Well, now we named black anyway, so I guess it didn't matter. Maybe Fragment Reality is worth it. Fragment Reality is, like, almost always worth it, just because you gotta assume that any opponent could have Graveyard Hate, and Graveyard Hate's just really insane against us. So it's almost always worth bringing some number of Fragment Realities, just in case there's a Tormod script, a Rest in Peace, a Leyline of the Void, a Ghost Vacuum. Pick your favorite piece of Graveyard Hate, but we need to have an answer for it, or else then we just get stuck with Ionas in hand for days. On to game number 2, we're going to be on the draw for this one. Yeah, all right, this hand's fine. We got the reanimation, nothing to reanimate yet. But we can Fatal Push something. Overlord's not the worst. Overlord's pretty good, just having a way to get cards in the graveyard. If we high roll, that could set up the reanimation. Oh, Atroxa. We would have rather had you in the graveyard. Since our opponent's shocked, I think we're just going to play this depth. They're definitely telegraphing a Thalia. Yeah. All right, there's a Thalia. So we're going to Fatal Push that. Thalia is very, very, very good. And then next turn, we can impend the Overlord, perhaps. Or actually, it's probably better just play Fable at that point. Opponent, land, and... All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just looting? I mean, in theory, this lets us reanimate Atroxa. Ooh, double Thoughtseize. Man, I'd love to fire off Thoughtseize first. So discard the Atroxa, the one of fun of. We've seen Atroxa a lot for it being a one of. Discard the Overlord. Do we just do it? Let's just Thoughtseize. Let's just Thoughtseize. Play it safe. Do a hand check. There's a Thalia. Opponent, Ephemerate, Fatal Push, Overlord, Bogart Trawler. Okay, well, we got to take the Trawler. And then I guess we continue the killing of ourselves. Untap Shockland, Thoughtseize, down to 14. Get rid of your Overlord of the Bailmerk. Also very good with Thalia. Impend it, blink it, get the 5/5. All right, well, we seem like, oh, that is their best draw. Quantum Riddler to go with the Thalia draws a card. Thalia blinks it to draw a card. We can get back Atroxa. We can get back Atroxa. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So reanimate Atroxa. But the Thalia can blink Atroxa, and then our opponent can attack for lethal. So we need to hit something off this Atroxa to keep us alive. If we can deal with the Thalia, but they have the Ephemerate. So I think this pile works. So we can take Thoughtseize. Take Thoughtseize, take an untap land, take a Fatal Push. Sarah Emissary. I don't think we're going to be reanimating either one. If we Thoughtseize, they can Ephemerate in response. So we need to play the land untap first. So play the take Numa untap. Thoughtseize you. Our opponent knows if they can protect the Thalia, they win. All right, opponent's going to try to Ephemerate. In response, Fatal Push. Get rid of the Thalia. And opponent scoops it up. Wow. Well... The Atroxa came through. We almost died even after the reanimation, but Atroxa giving us the cards we need to deal with the Thalia, and that was a really close game. Well, sweet. We are teaching Arena Zoomers about the power of Iona and what it's like to not be able to legally cast any magic cards. Oh, Iona. Iona's the best. Oh. 5 lands, Thoughtseize, Sarah Emissary. I kind of feel like we're gonna, 1 land, 3 Thoughtseizes, Fatal Push, and Barrier Rides. All right, well, let's keep it, I guess, on 6. Opponent, Hall of the Storm Giants. Well, let's see what you're working with over there. Thoughtseize you. Tasha's, it's Mill. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Ashiok. Well, Not as worried about Tasha's Hideous Laughter because our mana values are super high. Ashiok, though, as a repeatable Graveyard Haze, seems very good against us. So we need to play around the MDFC, so land in Thoughtseize. We will still take the Tasha's Hideous Laughter if there's nothing else. Imagine how upset our opponent would be if we kept the third one. We had another Thoughtseize that we put to the bottom. Had we known what our opponent was doing, we would have probably put Fatal Push to the bottom, actually. And, ooh, Faithless Looting. Okay, okay. Oh, man, if we looting into Iona... Oh, we can't do it this turn, though, because they have the MDFC. Well, still, we can do it next turn. Faithless Looting. Iona, Iona. All right, Unburial Rites, and I guess Unburial Rites. No Ionas. Actually, yeah, let's just get rid of both rights. If they exile the graveyard, we will accept losing them. Play the tap land. Are we taking up the... All right, opponent's got a plan. Take up the Blast Zone. You only got to get to 9, opponent, and you're safe. Ooh, Sarah Emissary. I guess we have to keep shocking ourselves. This MDFC is actually dealing damage to us. Iona! Ugh, all right, Sarah Emissary. Discard the Fatal Push. We're going to keep the Overlord, because we really want... This looks like mono blue mill, which means if we can get Iona on blue, it's over. It's over. Found it. Takes up the Blast Zone. Wall... Oh, mill and Iona, mill and Iona, mill and Iona. No Iona, okay. Mills us for 4. Oh, so close. Oh, I mean, we can reanimate something else. It's just not as cool as reanimating Iona or as game ending. But, like, I guess reanimating Sarah Emissary is fine. I guess we can Overlord first. We can Overlord first. See if we can hit an Iona. Yeah, that makes sense. Overlord mill. Oh, there it is, there it is. There's the Iona. That's what we were looking for. Okay. The Overlord finally paying off. I don't know if we even want the Sarah Emissary. Yeah, we'll just leave them both. They might actually be on the Blast Zone for 9 plan. Wait, do we... 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can't fire up the creature land yet. All right, so... I think what we do here, actually, I think we do it the other way. I think we Sarah Emissary, get the Sarah Emissary first. Opponent taking up the Blast Zone, and then we'll get to Iona next turn with the Unburial Rites, because we also have to play around this Hall of the Storm Giants. Opponent founding the third path. Sure. Going to mill us for 4. Yeah. Another Unburial Rites. Opponent passes. Well, all right. Now it's definitely Iona on blue time. Iona. Unburial Rites. I think we will choose blue. And what this means is if our opponent plays a land and attacks with all the Storm Giants, we can block with Sarah's Emissary or with Iona and just reanimate it again and again while we beat down with the other one. So we should be... Oh, wait. That Blast Zone. It's getting there. It's getting there. Hit ya down to 13. Uninvent. Founding the third path. Would you like to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter? Oh, is that a blue card? Aw. Shucks. Gee Willikers, and opponent learns that yes, Iona applies to Founding of the Third Path as well and scoops it up. Well, I gotta assume since they're mill, they gotta have a bunch of graveyard hay, right? That's kind of the whole gimmick of mill. If you're gonna fill your opponent's graveyard, you gotta be able to answer it. So we gotta bring in the Fragment Realities. We'll go down the Atroxa, go down the Sarah. Well, actually, maybe go down Sarah Emissary. Iona is the one. Like, if we Iona in this matchup, it is G to the G. The Duresses seem good. Fatal Push, not as much. Running like that. All right, here we go on to game number 2. Sounds fine. It doesn't have an Iona, but it's fine. If we draw an Iona, opponent, Ruin Crab. We draw a Fragment Reality. Well, I think we just Fragment Reality the crab. Actually, yeah, let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. We don't know our opponent's hand yet. Ruin Crab. Although getting milled a little bit might be okay, because our opponent might mill us into, but they could have Surgical Extraction. Okay, they mill an Unburial Rites. Mill an Atroxa. Well, Thought sees you. Burvac and Thought Collapse. Well, okay. Burvac, we don't really care. Thought Collapse, that we do kind of care about. Pass the turn. You can mill us a little bit. A little bit. Opponent, Ruin Crab, mill that Iona. Yes! Betrayed by the crab. Betrayed by the crab. Opponent mills us into the Iona. Plays the Vervac. Passes. Oh, opponent, I got sad news. Sad news. Death. Iona. And this is, I think, the death of you, opponent. On blue, opponent, yawning emoji, yawning emoji, yawning emoji. Does not like not being able to cast spells. I don't have a good emoji to respond with because I'm bad at that. But opponent scoops it up, and turns out Iona still pretty unbeatable, even in 2025. And well, we got to show some Zoomers their power, and they got to show us the power of their emoting. But that's for the wrap-up. Be right back. So what did we learn this week about Iona in teaching Arena Zoomers about Iona? And record-wise, we went 5-3 with the deck for a 63% win rate, which perfectly fine. More importantly, we got to absolutely wreck some fools with Iona. We got to play against mono green elves and reanimate an Iona and see our opponent just weep and cry and scoop because they literally couldn't play any cards. We got to play against a mono blue mill deck where we got down on Iona on like turn 3 or something, and our opponent just had to scoop it up because they couldn't play any cards. So we got to see Iona actually be really, really brutal, and that's what I love about this card. Yes, there's other big things you can reanimate that'll probably win you the game, but Iona is its own special kind of miserable. There's a reason that it's banned in Commander and that it's banned in Brawl, and that is if you low roll and you're just like are unlucky and you happen to be playing a monocolor deck and Iona shows up, you are just completely wrecked maybe from turn 2. And it is so funny to see this card actually existing on Arena now and being a thing. So I love me some Iona action. In the deck, it actually seemed really powerful. And I gotta say, reanimating in Historic almost feels like cheating. I think we ran into one person that had a Tormod script across all of our matches, but apparently Historic players don't really believe in graveyard hate, which makes it almost laughably easy to get them with reanimation. It is so easy. If there is a downside to this deck, and we did see this in some of our games, death does actually cost a lot of life. And with our kind of painful 3-color mana base where we don't have fetches that are legal in Historic, we had some games where we like turn 1, shock in a whatever blood crypt and play a faithless looting. Turn 2, shock in something else, play a life death, reanimate Iona. And yeah, we have this Iona, but we're also down to like 7 life on turn 2 or something, which is still normally worked out. But I think the Thalia game might be the best example where we got a super quick Iona, but we still almost lost the race. In the end, we were at 1 life when we killed our opponent, because they could keep attacking with Thalia and like flickering Iona to get in damage, and then we'd hit him with Iona. So it is worth keeping in mind that the life death plan, it is painful as far as the amount of life you have to lose, but it also is really, really fast and really brutal. So if you like making your opponents literally not be able to play Magic, I know I like to talk about making people not play Magic. A lot of times it's like setting up a lock that makes it really hard to play Magic, but if you have the right answer, you can get out of it. Iona is one of the hardest ways to do that. Like, if you happen to be monocolor and Iona shows up, it is almost impossible to break out of it. Think of that opponent who is desperately ticking up their blast zone by 1 and 2 each turn, trying to get it up to 9 counters so they'd have an answer to Iona. That's the kind of stuff you have to do to beat Iona, and it's just not realistic. So anyway, that's Iona. That's teaching Arena Zoomers about the most miserable reanimation target in Magic. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon.